you guys, so it's Keoshia. I'm back for another video. If you like my Savage Saturdays, please give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you guys subscribe, and let's just get into the video. Okay, you guys, so as you can tell from the title, today I am going to talk about how to use the envelope system and how to successfully make it work for you. I have gotten a lot of messages from people asking me, how do I get it to work for me? How have I been able to use it for so long without getting off track or messing up my envelopes or even messing up the money? So today I'm going to give you guys about 8 or 9 tips to help you be successful using the envelope system. So let's get into tip number 1. So the first thing you need to do is pick categories that you overspend in, things that you find yourself using too much money and it really needs to be wheeled in. A lot of people I've known and I've coached so far have problem with either shopping too much or either eating out too much. It's usually one of those two. Most people don't have a problem with gas or groceries or anything like that, but shopping and eating out seems to be the top 2 things that people have problem with when it comes to overspending. So those are the kind of things that should be in an envelope. For example, my envelopes are grocery, personal spending, dining out, fuel, household, fun money for the kids, and the commissions for my daughter. Now, as you can tell, some of those categories, of course, are not places that I overspend in, but those are things that I like to pay cash for. I don't feel like I need to pay Jalen in a check for her commissions or use my debit card for household items or groceries or even my personal spending, because I really don't have a problem with overspending. But you would definitely pick things that you overspend in, and then you would pick things that you can readily pay cash for. You can always pay cash for grocery. You can always pay cash for household items, commissions for your kids, things like that. I know a lot of people don't like to pay cash for gas, but I recommend it because now you'll know how much gas you're spending and you'll be more mindful about a lot of traveling that you're doing unnecessarily. And if you've noticed around the countries, a lot of gas stations are starting to charge you extra money for using a debit or a credit card. Where I live, they charge me 20 cents more if I decide to use my debit card instead of cash. So yeah, I'm all about that paying cash, because I'm not finna pay 20 cents more for gas when gas is already a ridiculous amount of money as is. So that is how you figure out which categories you need to have cash envelopes in. Okay, so the next tip is to use either cash envelopes or an accordion to keep your cash in. A lot of people ask me all this time, Keoshia, do you carry that cash around with you? Do you really carry around like $600 around with you every day in your purse? You know, every time you want to spend it, do you have it readily available? No, I do not walk around all day with $600 worth of 25s or whatever in my cash envelope. I only pull out the money that I need for that day. I like to plan ahead what I'm going to do the next day. I have special days that I go to the grocery store, so that way I know on that day I need to have that money. I do not carry my money around with me a lot. So I have a couple of systems that I like to use. So the first one is this little accordion thing that I got from the dollar store for $1, and it's basically one of these accordion things right here. So I have all of my categories: groceries, fuel, dining out, personal, household. And this one says lawn care, but it's really supposed to be Jalen's fun money. I just haven't renamed it yet. But basically what I do is, if you guys don't know, I am a month ahead in my cash envelope. So this month is September. By the end of the month, I'll already have the money for my October cash envelopes, and as I pull that money out when I get paid, I just stick it into its respective area, and then when the first of the month comes up, I pull all the money out and I do my cash envelope stuffing, as you guys can see. Now, every day walking around, I use my Kate Spade planner. Sorry, it's upside down. You guys have seen a video on this before. I have explained how I use it, or what it looks like on the inside, so I make sure I click it and put it in one of the cards. But I basically use this as my cash envelope, so anytime I'm going to the grocery store, I know I'm going to dine out or use my personal money, what I will do is I have them in an accordion style. Not accordion, but I have cash envelopes here. So I don't use it as a planner. I have all of my debit cards and stuff right here. I have my checks right here, and each one of these is a envelope. Let's see which one has cash in it. So this one has cash in it. This is my grocery fund, and as you can see, I just slide the cash down in there. So whenever I feel like I need to go to the store, I go into this accordion, pull out the amount of money I'm going to spend at that store, and then I put it inside of here, and then I take my wallet with me. I do not carry this around me every day. Is at home in my safe, and that way I will, if something happens and I lose my wallet or whatever, I don't lose all of my cash envelope money. So I suggest having 2 ways to store your cash. One for the long term when you first get all the cash, and another one for when you're ready to spend it. You put it in your wallet and you go ahead. If you plan your day accordingly, you will not have a problem with remembering to put the money in your wallet. So that's what I suggest for how to carry your money around. Okay, you guys, so the third tip sort of plays off the second tip, and I kind of already went into it, but basically only bring the cash that you need. If you budget a month $100 for dining out, and your girlfriends are going to go out to, PF Chang's or Papa Do's or whatever, and your meal is going to be about $50, you don't have to bring the whole $100 with you. Only bring the $50, and you know what that does? It makes you be mindful of what you order and how much you order. If you bring the whole $100, you're most likely to spend the whole $100. Bring the amount of money that you want to spend for that day or that night or that evening or wherever you're going, and that's the amount of money you will spend. And you know why? Because you don't have any more money. There's nothing, if you go over, you're not supposed to swipe your card or anything like that. So if you go to PF Chang's or whatever, you're going to only spend $50, which means you can't have 4 glasses of wine and a meal at PF Chang's and spend $50, okay? So you can only get like 1 glass of wine and 1 meal and no appetizers for like $50. So that's how you make sure you stay within your budget. You only bring what you expect to spend, and that way you can spend no more than that. Okay, so tip number 4 is budget paycheck to paycheck. Now, as you guys know, I've said it a million times, I am a month ahead in my bills, and I've just worked it out that way. But if you are a new person and you're new to budgeting, I suggest you budget every single paycheck. So say you get paid twice a month bi-weekly, and your budget for dining out is $100. That means when you get paid, you would take out $50 and put it in your cash envelope, and then the next time you get paid, you will take out the other $50 and put it in the envelope. So that way, if you spend the whole $50 in that 2 weeks, you don't have any more money, but you also won't feel bad that for the rest of the month you can't eat out, because now you don't have any more money, because the next time you get paid, you'll be able to replenish that envelope, and it makes it last longer. Until you get very dedicated and very structured and disciplined in your cash envelopes, I suggest doing that way. If you get paid every week, then of course it would be $25 every time you get paid, and you would stretch it out to make sure it lasts over the month. Now, I'm not saying that I'm perfect and that when I get my whole $50 for the month out for my dining out, that I don't spend it readily, sometimes like right within the 2 weeks or whatever. Just depends on what's going on. But I'm disciplined to know that when I don't have any more money, I'm not finna go out to eat. The answer is no, don't ask me, I ain't going. But until you get that discipline and you get that good, then I suggest doing it that way. If you get paid every week, take it out every week. If you get paid every two weeks, take it out every 2 weeks. If you get paid bi-monthly, take it out bi-monthly. Just whatever the case may be. Okay, so another tip is to reduce your monthly bills. So say that your cable bill is like $200. Do you really need a $200 cable bill? Can you cancel some of those premium channels? Can you, lower your internet speed? Whatever the case may be. Can you reduce your cell phone bill? You guys know I just put up a video on how to cut your cell phone bill in half. I'm going to put it up in the card so you guys can check that out. And what that does is, say in your grocery budget, you're doing $200 a month, but you find every single month that $200 is enough. By the time the end of the month comes, y'all scraping up trying to find food and things like that. If you reduce other areas, you can put more money into your cash envelope. So if you can reduce your cell phone bill by half, then you could probably add that half to that you're saving to your grocery budget, and that way you'll have more groceries to buy and they will last longer, and you won't be scraping around at the end of the month. So if you find that your cash envelopes are just lacking and you can't seem to have enough money for it, figure out how to reduce money in other areas to make up those envelopes to get them a little bit higher to where you need them to be. Okay, the next thing you need to do is decide the rules before you start the cash envelope. And what I mean by deciding the rules is, are you going to borrow from other envelopes if you're lacking in one? Are you going to spend all your money at one time? Are you going to divide it up, like I said, week by week, and only spend $25 a week if you have $100 in your dining out budget? And once that $25 is gone, you don't have any more money. You cannot go out to eat. Like, you really have to sit down and think about how you can do the system so that it is successful. If you feel like you can't control yourself, and once the $25 gone, you start borrowing from other envelopes, now you're going to be short over here, or you're not going to be able to get enough groceries because you use that money to go out to eat, then I suggest not even borrowing. I suggest just having a strict thing where when you're out of money for that envelope, then you cannot borrow money from the envelope. You cannot go anywhere else to get that unless it's an extreme like emergency or something. But most time cash envelopes are an emergency. You're not gonna, use it. Hope you don't use up all your fuel money, but you do need to have decisions about how you're going to conduct those cash envelopes, rules that you will and will not do, and things that you will abide by. Okay, and so the next thing to do is use the extra money to pay down debt. So if you find out that your cash envelopes have an excess of money at the end of every single month, don't just throw that money away. Don't just go shopping with it. Take that extra money and pay down debt quicker. If you have $100 left, if you have $50 left, put it to that lowest credit card or whatever the next thing you're working on your debt snowball. And another thing is, if you find that you always have an excessive amount of money at the end of the month in your cash envelopes, that means you need to lower the amount in that cash envelope. That means you don't need that much money and you need to lower. It's best to be able to use that money all the way up to the end. That way you already have applied everything to your snowball that you can. So that's what you need to do. So don't just spend the money. If you have any money left over in your cash envelopes, if you don't feel like it needs to roll over, you can, if you don't have any debt, then you can put it towards your sinking funds, your fully funded emergency fund, whatever the case may be, whichever baby step that you're on. But always have a plan for that money. Don't just go spend it, willy-dilly. Okay, and so the last thing is to stick to it. Cash envelope budget is so hard when you first start because you're like, oh, I'm going to be good. I'm going to spend money. I'm going to stay within my budget. And then when you don't, you get disappointed. You get disheartened. You be like, I just can't do this. It takes time. You're not going to be perfect. I'm not perfect. I've been budgeting for almost 2 years and I still mess up stuff. So you have to stick with it. Even though I mess up a month, next week starts a new cash envelope if you went over this week. Next month starts a new cash envelope if you went over this month. You have to think about long term. You always stumble and you'll go up and you'll go down, but eventually you will level out and you'll be able to find out what your routine is, what works for you, what doesn't work for you. But if you don't stick with it, then you will never know if it will truly work for you. You can't just try it for a month or two and be like it don't work. No, you need to do about 6 to 12 months to find out if the system will work for you and to make your mind and retrain your thought on how to spend money and what you need to do to save money. Okay, you guys, so that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you guys need any kind of help, if you need an accountability partner, if you need somebody to help you set up your budget, if you need somebody to help you outline your budget and to help you get your cash envelopes together, you guys know I do financial counseling. So if you like to see what I help you with and tell me your problems, then go ahead and click the link down in the description box and set up your free 15-minute consultation, and we can have a long discussion about what it is that you need from me. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you guys subscribe, share it with all your friends, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye. Okay, you guys, so to go ahead and schedule your 15-minute consultation, go ahead and click the link in the description box and it will bring you to this financial coaching page where you'll be able to read why you should work with me and things that I do. Go ahead and click on the 15-minute intro schedule and it will give you a bunch of dates. It's 2 weeks in advance, so I hope to be talking to you guys really soon. Thank you.